reading, but I like to do reading when I wake up. So this is like my box. I made it myself, and we're gonna do a little face mask, and I'm gonna like try to do my nails today. I'm trying to learn how to do them. So I'll pull a couple cards today. Websites provide quality work. You guys read that, buddy. So turn down, provide quality work. Nothing's just a choice for no reason. Take all paths seriously. I just feel like right now it's just saying that a lot of us have everything that we already need. We already have the skills, and we already have the mindset. We have the talent. We have everything. It's just that maybe sometimes we want to move too fast, to the next thing. And I just think that the whole theme of the month has just kind of been like stop and smell the roses, pretty much. And I just think that every time that we start to make choices, we gotta take that a lot more seriously than we have been. Saying that, you got turned down, you feel like you were turned down in a relationship that was really actually abusive. Say you went through a lot in that relationship, and it hurt you greatly, to be honest. And it's saying that in order to provide shadow work, you're going to have to provide quality work. And in order to provide quality work, you're going to have to do shadow work. So it's for those of you who don't know what shadow work is, it's your inner self. It's that stuff inside that hurts you when you think about it. This is a lip scrub. It's by Love. It's from Perfectitude. It's a black lip scrub with charcoal in it, so it helps to get like any zits or oils or anything out of anything, or if you have any dry skin or anything, it's just like exfoliate. I kind of like to do face masks a lot. I like them a lot. Okay, and it says that nothing's just a choice for no reason, and take all paths seriously. It says that you need to invoke the cosmic dawn, and you need to start to it says transmute all that is not love. So you need to get rid of everything. You need to understand. It's not even get rid of it. It's understand, what's going on inside of you. It's breaking down those feelings and really just paying attention to it and just being like, that day that song made me feel sad, or even that first one makes me feel icky, you're just like, why? Why do they truly make me feel icky? I mean, we could sit here and say, it's everybody else that makes us feel icky, but even then we're giving power away. And no matter how you look at it, to be basically emotionally unstable is weakness. And it's not saying that you're weak. It's just saying, how can you get that power back? How can we become the person that we want to be? And blaming and whining and throwing a fit, it's never going to do it for us, even if we have the right to complain. And I know that it sucks, and I know that life's hard. I can tell you that for me, this journey started, for me personally, probably when my parents got divorced, more than likely. But I remember thinking it at 14 when my sister died. And I remember thinking, on the third day after she died, man, I just wiped the tears off my fucking face, and I just thought to myself, you're the big sister now. You're the fucking big sister, bro. And it was just like running through my head. And my mom was all sad and shit, and I just knew, what it meant. And I want you to know that the people out there that knew what it meant, they're tired. And those are the people that are usually running around doing all this shit, And in order for us to be giving you what you want, because I see that that's the great division in the world, is that we got half the people that are not emotionally connected, and then we got people that are too emotionally connected. And we need to find that equal balance. And what I can tell you is that neither group knows what to do. We understand that we're having breakups. We understand that we're going through divorces. We understand that people are not getting along, and that there's a lot of violence, and that there's a lot of hate and crime. But there's also just a lot of greed. There's a lot of control. And there's a lot of things that honestly both sides do very differently. And this is the truth. And in order for us to really find balance in this world and in relationships and in ourselves and in each other, we're going to have to get to know the other side. So, typically the other side is going to be the person that's emotional if you're not emotional. You're going to have to learn why they're emotional. Why does this bother you? Is it really because you don't know how to be the person that they want to be? Or is it because maybe you grew up, focusing on work ethic? People who work very hard their whole life, they don't stop to sit there and have conversations. And so when their partner tries to have these long, in the eye, cuddle time type of conversations to people that have extreme work ethic, it's odd to them. It's weird to them. And people can take it in a way where maybe, people don't care about each other. Maybe he doesn't love me. Why won't he talk to me? I mean, sure, there's people that cheat, but I got a card in here somewhere that says you can't steal a cheater. I think a lot of you guys in this one, for some reason, it's just pulling up that there's a disconnect because one of you is very emotionally connected and one of you is more financially connected. One of you is a caretaker, you provide. And I want you to know that when it comes to a provider, they feel like they work very hard. And I know that somebody who's emotionally invested works hard too, because I can do both. I can channel both. But lately, over the last few years, I actually have been channeling a lot more masculine energy because I've been put in positions to pay all the bills by myself. And on top of that, I went through a few relationships where people have told me straight up, that's not my stuff. I'm not helping you with it. While they, in my opinion, we're here living off of it. And so it's just each to their own opinion. And that's really what you just gotta sit there and I've been in places in my relationships where I was talking to somebody and we just never had that conversation. I know the conversation that some of you guys are looking to have with your person. And the thing that we need to do in those moments is you just need to understand how much power over it. How much power over you somebody else has. How much power over you does other people have. Because whenever you're getting fucking upset about shit, about anything, you're gonna say, oh, I have the right to. This thing pissed me off. Well, that fucking made me think about this because it happened. My dad died or my brother died or whatever you think of. I went to jail and fucking now I'm tripped out, but if you think about it, guys, even if the first time if your tire would blow out on the freeway, there's no crime in that. It's a freaking scary situation. And so it's just the first time that you had to drive too. It was scary. The first time that I always think of the tire changing situation when it comes to life events. I remember the first few times I had a car break down in general. I went through a lot of phases with vehicles. I now love to work on cars. I actually have specific devices that I've made so that if a tool drops down into a little small spot, I can actually get it easily. And I enjoy it. It's my favorite journeyman projects. Who would have known? And I'll tell you a little bit about the journey that helped me break things down. And how this will just play into it. And by understanding your emotions and separating them from the event, the way your brain thinks, the way you see society seeing you, and the way you choose to kind of play it out. But if we had this Durango, and it did something underneath the hood, where it had to be popped, and it had to be hit, I don't know, I think it might, I don't even know. I'm also almost certain that I knew how to do it. I was obviously in diva mode. I was probably about 7 years clean and sober and a manager of a school, and I was with a mechanic, Zeke. And the Durango kept doing something, and I'm with a mechanic, And, literally, dude, I would call him wherever he would be, whether he would be at school or at work, wherever I was. And I would throw a fit. I guarantee you I would be rude to him when I called. I would be very dramatic. And that's obviously clearly disrespectful. And I'm looking back at that in moment, and that's what life is about. Life is about you fucking making a mistake here. And talking to shit, says somebody here. Because God wants to see if you fucking know not to do that. And I don't know. Maybe God wanted to see why Zeke's fucking wasn't fixing the car correctly and called himself a mechanic. I don't know why Zeke kept getting called back into my fucking presence, but I was getting pissed. But I was also immature. That was not the logical or respectful or even just, there was no right decision in me calling Zeke somewhere and having him come down when I knew how to do that. And do you know why the fuck I wouldn't get the fuck out of the car to do that? Because it was embarrassing. So that's really what all of that emotion came down to right there. If I really wanted that car fixed, I could have used my fucking paycheck and took it to a mechanic. At no time did I ever need to fucking insult Zeke, disrespect Zeke, interrupt Zeke's time or day. I knew I could fucking fix it. I sat there and fucking treated somebody like shit and fucking wasted all of those people's times. I interrupted his day because I was embarrassed. So I was embarrassed. So that would made me, it's like I was just literally embarrassed. Where did that feeling come from of embarrassment? That I couldn't work on a car. That somebody in society that I literally would have never known at Walmart parking lot or whatever was going to see me. That makes no fucking sense. But it does make sense when I break it down. That's a fucking straight petty girl insecure shit right there. And that's what life's about. It's okay to admit that you did that. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. And you want to see that. And you want to also give your ex a call and be like, bro, I don't even know, dude. I was just thinking today, I am so fucking sorry that I literally treated you like that. I'm so sorry that I treated you like that, And when you say sorry, you don't add the, but you shouldn't have done that to me. This is a moment of individual, just whatever you fucking come up with, and it's very heartfelt. And Zeke and I spent we spent a lot of solid ass shit together. That man fucking took on all 4 of my kids at 19 years old. And he did struggle with alcoholism, but he was also a native, and I was warned. And he was a good man. Who the fuck takes on somebody's kids at 19, dude? And we were faithful to each other. Zeke didn't end up splitting. We didn't split up really because we were just, my boss hung himself. And I found him at work. And I get real weird when things happen. But that doesn't mean that I'm not happy that we are still split up, because I don't want to spend the rest of my life, to be honest, doing what we did most of the time. But did we share some wonderful times? Yeah, dude. The last year we were together, we went on 16 camping trips. And, I'm not going to lie, dude. I can't tell you how many camping trips that motherfucker be passed out in the tent drunk before. Dude, I was pissed. I'll tell you. But what I'm trying to teach you here is, don't forget the good times. Separate them. See them all for their individual moment, because that's what God had them there for. And know that at any time, bro, if you don't like something, you can also do what you need to do. There's always another route. God doesn't sit... Who the fuck... The point here is, don't fucking sit there and make somebody else feel like they have to do something for you. Even if you feel like they should have, that is not true. It is a blessing when people do things for us, and sometimes we just take advantage of people's time. And God tells us straight from the get-go, dude, you're not keeping these people. They're mine, by the way. It says straight up, put God first. Because they're going to go away. At any given minute, He'll take them. And it straight up says, just straight enjoy each other. And instead, we've all just came into this world and fucking, you know what we do when we date? We just fucking... We have a vision in our mind of what we want our partner to do and be. And at no time when we pick up a person do we interview them. We never said, alright sir, so sit down, Zeke and I never said that. That's what do I want in a relationship? I could tell you right now something that I found unattractive. See, that's the wrong way to go about it. What I'm telling you a lot of times, and then what we're even starting life out for the purpose of, in general, is because of a lot of shit that we see in our childhood, and we're like, I'm not doing that, or I want that. Every fucking thing that we've ever known has been something that we've seen. So it's either an inspiration or something, or a frustration, pretty much. We were motivated. And so I want you to sit down and I want you to clear your mind out and I want you to figure out where each and every one of your fucking plans came from. Where did you derive that shit up from? My law dream came from my mom. I have a lot of law stuff. My grandma was in the law. My Barb's in the law. My mom's in the law. My Aunt Dorothy and I were both teachers. So we went a different direction. My grandma Dorothy. I don't know if I called her my aunt. I feel like I did that. No, we have a lot of journeymen. We have a lot of really intelligent people in our family, and I love my family very much. I'll tell you right now, had I not went with what maybe my mom wanted me to do, which was law, and I love law, but I realized that for me, law had a lot of things that were triggering me. I wanted to do law a lot because I wanted to defend people that I was watching getting abused as a child, and so I came up with the idea I would be a criminal defense attorney because I felt like I was the one who was always getting in trouble for shit that I really didn't do, and when I even think of that, it hurts my heart, and so I started to separate myself from dreams that were driven from anger, and I still wanted to help people. I did want to help people, and so it's like I had to really sit down and think about things, and even just like the story with Zeke, that's a big realization right here. And today I actually love working on cars. I do. I'll do it myself, and I make fucking videos, dude. I put it out there for the whole world to see. Isn't that such a big difference? And so it's just about growing in yourself and knowing that anytime there's an event, even when people are doing anything you don't like, if you are giving your power away and it's causing you to elevate in your emotions or, decrease, you gotta balance, you gotta find that balance again. And on the balance thing that we go over, it's just easy, there's 6 sections that we gotta fucking go to. So that's what we're working on in this section, is just figuring out if you're feeling achy ever, you might try going to one of these other sections. If you're feeling like you're burnt out and you're working too much, see if you've spent any time with your family. Maybe you need to spend some time with your friends. We're working on spirituality right now, so you're good there. And self and health, that's more. We need to go be, like, even if we went for a walk with your dog, or even just, today I woke up and I felt like my dad said, go for a walk. And I felt like that's what they would say. I don't know, I don't even know why I woke up and thought that, but like I looked over and I just saw the sunlight and I just saw the sunlight on my skin and I just thought, some people are not here and they're not alive. And they actually wish they were. That's what I felt. And I felt like they told us to go for a walk today, and it's just like the small things, Sometimes we're not eating, you gotta make sure you're eating right, and your health really comes down to like your stretches, your diet, your mental health, and that power that you give away to other people. And a lot of times, when you're, at the beginning of the read, we were talking about if you guys were like emotionally separated from your partner, usually that's like these 2 people right here. Or they'll love people. But a career person is a career person. Sometimes it's even hard to get a career person over here into the spirituality. Those are the ones that are like, I'm not going to church. They might be your stubborn man. But I can see where for somebody who's emotionally invested, which I'm not. So that's why I'm actually able to help you explain. I've never really been an emotionally invested person. That's why I never got married. I'm very emotionally invested, but I realized that a lot of my love was it was very toxic because I was always the diva, I was always the spoiled little brat. And so as you can see, or even when I called Zeke, that was very disrespectful. And I really had to learn those things as I saw other examples out there in the world. And so I want to continue to learn those things, is what I'm saying. There's no rush to greatness, and you're amazing. And you will manifest the type of lover that you are inside. And so like for me right now, I am hoping I would manifest a lover that would be working on learning how to be accountable too. And I definitely pay attention to that. Whenever somebody and I are talking about anything, if they were to say poor things and negativity about anybody that they dated, if they were to say that about somebody they dated, as sometimes you will, you go on these dates and they're pretty negative when they speak about their partner, their ex. There's, I don't want to spend a lot of time on it, but they'll say things like they messed them over, fuck that bitch, shit like that, and you're just like, whoa. Because never once do I not love Zeke to this day. And I can remember so many events, both great and very, very, very scary. But you know what, overall, I remember a man who was 19 years old and went through a CPS case with me. And you know how he met me? Halo. She was rolling down the stairs, and that sounds really horrible, but it's true, and I like to be honest. And he said, "Oh my gosh, your baby." And he ran over there, and that's the day that him and Halo fell in love. That sounds terrible, but he still lets her come over to this day, and we broke up in 2016, and that's her dad, And he didn't have to do that. And another great thing he did is like, yeah, we bought this house together. We broke up 5 days after. But to be honest, I'm not going to lie. My email for the whole event, the password was Sniper. Why was I thinking about Sniper? Because I was about to fuck straight make moves, bro. And Zeke knew this. And so I went and bought a house. I don't know. I went through the Great Depression and I thought I would just, I don't know, my friend Maria bought a house. And so that's what I'm talking about, inspiration and friends. And everything just is like a blinking light. And it's like, you got to pay attention. My friend Maria, to be honest, she bought a house. But it was my friend Yulia that went to school at this college. She inspired me here. So you got to see where, and Yulia I met in addiction. So Yulia gets clean, right? She goes to college. What the fuck, I want to do too. And that's, life, I've always noticed how one of the hardest times that you'll ever go through lead to the greatest fucking opening door. And that's the truth. When Martin did what he did, I got real sick. But it also was a catalyst for forward movement. I wanted to leave Martin's school anyway. Because Martin was kind of acting crazy, I'm not gonna lie. That motherfucker straight get on some fucking yo-yo, and he would wear a cowboy hat and shave women bald. Now, I'm the manager of a fucking beauty school. I think we had 9 women sue the year that he fucking passed. He did fucking get clean. His autopsy, I do want to say, I want to honor him, but he was 9 months clean. But if you guys have ever heard that term, dry drunk, those are people that quit using, but they fucking daydream all the time about the past. They're never happy and sober in sobriety. I can do either or, it doesn't matter. I spent a whole decade sober with Martin. But that was something that I realized I wasn't paying attention to. It was like, if you're not paying attention, bro. I had Zeke fucking drunk on one end and Martin fucking on Yola on the other side. And I was sober, sure. I went to college. I got clean. I got my CPS case closed. I got all my legal shit done. I fucking literally became a teacher, a fucking manager of salons, and all of a sudden a manager of a fucking college, dude. Couldn't believe it. Who the fuck that comes up here arrested, handcuffed, hiding a baby in their stomach? I didn't even tell anybody I was pregnant until Halo was fucking 5 months. I couldn't hide the bump anymore. You know what I mean? Just an odd story for, to hear, but dude, it's crazy, but now I just feel like I see the world differently. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? I don't know. I'm really grateful for it. And, that's what becoming an Emperor and an Empress is all about. A lot of times people are saying, why the fuck did this happen to me? When I was a young girl, I read this book, or part in the Bible. This book is a very unique book. I read a chapter in the Bible, and it said that there's a woman in the Bible, and it talks about her being a warrior, And in the Bible specifically, I can't remember much because the Bible has a lot of stuff going on in there, but it said she didn't get married. And it wasn't like all the other stories. It said she was actually like a warrior and she specifically didn't get married. And I remember thinking since a young girl, I'm that girl. I think I'm that girl. And it's funny to me to think that because, and then I grew. I wanted to be a criminal defense attorney because of being the middle child, the outcast, the black sheep. And, you just label it slowly like that. The warrior, the one in the Bible that doesn't get married, and then you're the outcast, then you're the black sheep. And then a lot of people tell you, you need to change. You need to do this. Maybe if you would do this, you would fucking get married. Or maybe if you do this, you wouldn't have to struggle. But there were so many times when I was doing this thing that they didn't want me to do that I love who I am. I love everything about what I do. I don't regret doing anything. Not even using. I don't regret any of it. I don't regret going through CPS. I don't regret going through death. I don't. And it hurts. I don't regret being the one to find Martin. I could find a pro in all of those cons. I remember the day that the decision was made on who went to Martin's house because he didn't show up for work. I'd never been there, and I was his manager, but I decided I'll fucking go. You know what? It was Miss Flock, and she fucking literally just had a baby, and she just got clean herself. She became she's one of those addicts that gets clean, and I was clean too. Had a decade clean. Miss Flock was one of my beautiful students. I get to see a lot of students go through the college. Some of them come back in and take careers in the school. She did. She took her fucking sobriety and her career very seriously. She would have been one of the people that was going to go out there. We had the Ramoses. Mr. Ramos, great guy. But even any time anything dangerous occurred, Martin and Ramos both ran and I handled it. It cracked me up. I would always hold down the criminals or anything that was going on. It was crazy. I would literally, well, my mom and dad are both very strong and brave people. And I think about Mr. Ramos, he's like one of those people that can be spooked easily. The students used to actually prank him, and he would sit there and he believed it every time. They would prank him with those stupid phone things, and he would believe it. He's a very easygoing guy. He is not, I just don't, and then the other one was Miss Kathy. And I'm not going to lie, with respect to her, she already had a problem with drinking. Could you imagine if any of those three would have been the one to find him hanging? Mr. Ramos, I don't know, man. I think he's already been through enough. And he's in his older ages. Kathy's in her older ages. And knowing that somebody who already drinks a lot, that would be fun. It would have haunted them. It put me into a 4-year trip. I literally got PTSD. Hazel, take your fucking nasty toy and keep it off my fucking chair. Go lay down. I do fine until I see a fucking black stain on the fucking damn chair. And then I get pissed. And I'm just gonna hold off. I can handle a crime scene. But I'll tell you what, you bring fucking something stained my fucking shit, dude. And I get irate, dude. So yeah, I'm like, I'll go. And this is now the 3rd fucking dead body out of 4 that I've already had to ironically fucking deal with. And I look at those characteristics, I look at those traits, and I think, that's very strong. I could have been definitely somebody who, I always knew I wanted to do law. But, regardless of how it went, and it went, when Martin died, I did not cry, I didn't fucking sit there and fucking scream at the crime scene or anything. I remember photographically memorizing everything. I remember the crumbs even on the plate. And I handled the call, and I'll never forget every detail of that. Fuck me up bad. I graduated my last class of that school, but the students all pay about $30,000 each to learn from the teachers, and I respect that. And I wasn't mentally the best that I could be for them, and I don't keep positions for the title or for the money. So stepped down and I took a salon position. I tried to manage salons for a while, but my heart was broke. I couldn't get the images out of my mind, and I pushed everybody away. And I bought a house, and I changed my number, and I got a new vehicle, and I changed my job, and I actually just decided, even after, at some point, I even disconnected my phone. I didn't even want to be contacted. And nobody could even get a hold of me for 5 months. I'm gonna tell you, I went through the Great Depression here, and my sister, of course, took pictures because that's what she does. She's Natasha Rotzi, but yeah, she's got pictures of me sitting over there on the laundry. There was a huge laundry pile over there. I was very sad, and Zeke and I were broke up, and I was really, truly depressed. It had been 6 months. I moved everything in here, and I didn't unpack yet. And I want you to know that there will be times that you will feel like that, and then there's going to be times. You know, this is the first year that I've decorated. I've been here for 8 years now. And Martin's chapter, it was very rough for Halo and I to lose Zeke. Martin, it was everything. Halo didn't even know any life before that. And we were the type of family that would do 2 different days a week with the kids, like at the school doing arts and crafts. They were in private sports, and we can do all those same things still. Our life is actually, I guess, technically improved physically. And we're finally getting to replace emotionally. Finally. I remember also going to the beach. I didn't go for a long. I didn't know what to. I wanted to still do the same things, but it was weird. It's gonna be weird. But when I would use to cope with the pain, that's what prolonged my healing with Martin. And so I do want to at least put that out there, is that anybody that, if you're struggling with addiction, like anything heavy, it will really prolong it. It's gonna trigger it. You'll have a lot of blackouts with the amount of rage, and you'll have blackouts with even other drugs. You wouldn't usually, like, you'll have blackouts usually with alcohol and rage, but like any drug mixed with your rage when it comes to grief, if it's a death, I don't even know. Dude, I don't even know. It's crazy. See, my dad, he's the most recent death, and even if I'm looking into his death, my baby daddy and my father both died from an overdose that included narcotic. You know, just pills. It's the downers, and I fear downers a lot for anybody because it seems like it's like you take that 50-50 chance of it being fatal, and so I just don't. I feel like I was kind of like warned about that from like Operation Aware, even if it sounds silly, but I guess I just understand the science of the pills, and so I steer clear of them personally. And so when it comes to mixing any type of downer with anything, you actually can cause it to be fatal. This includes alcohol. So pills just have that kind of, pills have certain ingredients in it. Any type that's a depressant has any type of ingredient in it to actually activate you in a fatal way. So that's the thing, is that your body's a chemically made up thing. And I actually teach about the human brain and the body. And then I also teach about, I don't teach about drugs like Operation Aware, but I help explain more so the mental health and the emotional health that's mixed in with the decision making, so that people can understand why people make the decisions, because there's a lot of how could you do that, and I could never understand that. I can help anybody understand why, if they were willing to be open-minded. I just look at them more so like people are narrow-minded or open-minded, and that's just another thing I teach. Like, you can't really, to separate yourself and to take your power back, you just gotta be like, this is where that person's at in their life right now. And that's how you just take a step back and you're like, this is where they're at in their life right now. And I just now look at it like on a scale from 1 to 10, where are they at? We know that if they're like 1, 2, or 3, they're pretty hateful. They say mean things out loud to other people. They get physical probably. Could be passive aggressive, but they put their emotional stuff outward on people. Those are your level 1, 2s, and 3s. Even if you're somebody who lives in another person's house, who makes the money, that abuses you, somebody who speaks negativity to another person has had a lot of power over people our whole life. They've told us, you ain't shit, bitch, I pay the bills, or whatever they say, or you think it's fucking hard here, wait till you get out in the fucking real world. You know, whatever it is that you heard growing up in relationships, it's pretty fucking powerful. And you know what amazes me is that no drug, no alcohol, and no death has actually hurt me more than the words of one of those people. That sober person who cut me down and literally belittled me purposely every day, it blows my mind now, being mature enough to look back on that and realize truly what the fuck was happening, bro. That shit's deep in the heart. To gain in wisdom here, and that journey right there took you being vulnerable. It takes you being wrong. It takes you being abused. So that you can fucking get to know every fucking aspect of a situation. Because somebody that's never fucking used, which was somebody that I was when I was in law, could have never told you how amazing, sweet, kind, and deserving anyone in that category of people is. And we're very cruel to them, and we declare that everybody should be doing everything by protocol, or you're fucking in trouble. We'll take your kids, we'll fucking write you up, you know, you're scum. No, those are labels. Those are hearsay labels. And if you think about it, anybody that actually would say that, that's very unkind. That is not godly. And they might have power, they might have sobriety, they may have money, but that is not purity. And they're actually lower on God's scale. And so that's what I just started looking at. I started not caring about society's scale. I would be at staff meetings, and all the girls would be gossiping, and I couldn't stand it. I don't even like those girls. I'm trying not to be rude, but like, I was never interested in it. I remember sitting there around the tables thinking, I don't even want to be here. I stopped going. I didn't know it, but my boss had been watching me the whole time. The owner of the school. And he asked me before I left to stay. And the reason why I didn't stay is because there was a couple other teachers there right up top. This is a clay moisturizing mask, by the way. Clay is great for if you have zits or if your face is oily. It will pull all the oil out, but you will need to take a hot rag. I like to wash my face with tea tree soap if you can, or any other soap, but like tea tree is really great if you have an acne or an oily day. Tea tree fights off acne. It's very affordable, and it's pretty much a basic situation right there. But if I obviously have a nice face wash, I will use that. I get like these random sample-y things from Ipsy. Ooh, that's so nice. You'll feel it. Your skin, it's your largest organ. And you, if you don't keep it moisturized, it will, like, I want you to think of a trampoline. If you leave it out all summer long and then it gets in that cold, dry air, and then you go to use it the next year, it's definitely not all black and shiny anymore. It has lost a lot of its elasticity, and it's droopy even. So that's what the skin does, and so you gotta have it moisturized. And if you do have it moisturized every day, you will not peel in the summer. No matter how white you are. I'm super white. I'm almost fucking see-through. So, I don't peel anymore, and I don't also, like, dude, if your skin, even if you get pregnant, so if you get your girl pregnant, just be always having her moisturized every day, twice a day. It's easy just because every time you take a shower, which you should be taking one every day, I think, there's a lot of stuff in the air even that you're walking through. There's pollutants, there's everything. Everything picks up everything. Everybody needs to be showering, if you can, daily. I also want to keep in you. Hazel, what did I tell you for putting your fucking shit on my shit? Dude, you're literally standing it. You guys need to understand too, another situation is we have under 19% of natural resources left in this world. I'm kind of a nerd, and I like to learn that stuff. So we need to be thinking, if you want blessings, in my opinion, if you're somebody who's big on blessings, I definitely think you deserve it. God also loves to give. They say, if you have not, you've asked not. And that's a whole different saying than what we've heard in the past. We pretty much have been grown up and told, don't fucking ask God for shit. You know, don't fucking be selfish. You're ungrateful. Coming from the generation that still won't even fucking learn how to use a fucking smartphone. And they fucking won't even, they're stubborn ass shits. They didn't change shit. They won't even use a fucking straight debit card slider machine if they own their own business. Oh, no, I ain't fucking doing it. Okay, yeah, you are. Get the fuck over here now. Anyways, so the thing about everything is that it's just growing and everybody is changing their direction of things. Everything is it's pretty much a free world right now. I mean, we have everything that you can think of out there. And if you talk shit about anybody in this world, you pretty much will get a racist charge or a discrimination charge or whatever. And so that's not what we're worried about in the New World Order here. We are worried actually about everybody seeing everybody for an individual. And how it is easy to do that is that you know that even your best friend, your twin sister, your favorite person in the world, your favorite boyfriend, your favorite girlfriend, it doesn't matter who it was, your mom, dad. If you think about it truly, like, everybody has a difference. There's a difference. And it all put God first. And it actually, and I haven't seen anything that says, like, in specific, you have to put a man next or a woman next or a child next or a parent next. It doesn't say in specific. It just says put God first and you second. But it says you and God are going to be tight like this for the reason that he's going to take it from you. And a lot of times people sit there and hang on to abusive things. And they're like, we're going to try this, we're going to try that. And then they're like, whenever I see the 8 of Pentacles, it's a couple and they're holding coins. They're falling. The coins are falling and the woman's pretty much freaking out, getting all the coins. The dude's kind of just going with her. It looks like the dude really loves her. Looks like she's a little bit, but it looks like a shit show. It looks like a lot of hard fucking work. It's probably what me and Zeke had even. And it doesn't mean that it wasn't amazing. But when you have an event and in those moments when you guys are fighting and somebody says anything disrespectful, anytime you also cried out loud to another person, to God, even when you were crying yourself to sleep, anytime you thought anything about this event, you put that energy outward. You told the universe, you had talks with the universe, you had talks with your higher power in your heart when you felt grief upon this situation, when you said, I'm gonna leave, and you don't. I guess whatever we put out, we have to get back. So I've just learned a lot in this chapter. So I was like, damn, everything we ever put out, we have to get back. Yeah, I guess our thoughts. Because you manifest from your feelings and your thoughts. It's not even your physical or your fucking... Dude, so yeah, all your thoughts and your feelings, I guess, is what we have to get back in karma. That's crazy to me. How many times were you thinking in negativity ever? Even if you were glaring across the room at somebody. That's coming back. And then I learned about karma, and it said that karma don't give 2 fucks about your stupid petty shit. It says karma is a badass. And it's its own, basically, karma is its own entity, its own fucking... Karma, so from what I know, I'm learning all this shit, so don't quote me, but... Sounds like karma has something to do with, like, I don't know, the fairy world and all that shit, but, like, karma's the motherfucker, like, they're like, karma's in with Mother Nature and fucking, faith and hope and all that. So I'm not sure if that's, like, Greek or shaman stuff, but, like, I know that the Greek gods and the mermaids and all that shit, you know, like, that's why the Aphrodite was for love and stuff, so look more into it. But, yeah, karma's, like, one of them badasses. Karma's a whole thing. And I guess karma pretty much is busy all the time at work. And it's got a whole world of people to take care of. And it supposedly says, not even supposedly, I believe it. I'm getting all scared of karma and shit. It says karma waits for your biggest dream. Biggest dream will be there for you, babe. That's not... So, think about that. What the fuck is your biggest dream, bro? You know what mine is? To see my mom have a healthy life and be fucking in a great house and just be happy and successful by me. I want to take great care of my mama. She's such a stubborn ass motherfucker. And if karma supposedly waits for our biggest dream to come through, then what does that even mean? Are you taking my mother? That would literally mean that right before or right at the time that I get where I could financially take care of my mom and buy her a beautiful brand new house and fucking see her relieve. Like, she needs a fucking water heater right now, Shane. Like, I care. And, like, it sucks not to be able to help my mom. And literally, so that scared me. I thought, oh my gosh, like, I would never want karma to come after my biggest dream. So I want you to think about that. What is your biggest fucking dream? Is your biggest dream literally to be in love? Because there's karma already, like, with you right now. You need to literally think about it. How in my life have I put negative things out? Because it is beyond fucking you moving forward with your life. You don't fucking deal with that anymore. Cool. Did you fucking ever own it? Own it out loud. Did you ever hit your person up and say, bro, I am so sorry for disrespecting you? Where in your life are you getting upset and angry still? Because that's going to tell you where you either issue in that area. I don't know exactly how to open it. But yeah, that's what that means. So you can feel that out. Super easy. Just feel it out. And I don't know what it is. I did it once, forgot. But yeah, you gotta feel it out. And so how it'll work easiest for you is like you just notice it. If somebody pisses you the fuck off, just write it down really quick if you need to. Carry a little mini book on you and be like, this pissed me off. You'll have to break it down. You need to get balance and power back. And then it also says, so I was like, shit. So you can talk to karma. Actually, you do. You can talk to any of these spirits or angels or whatever, or beings or purpose things, Mother Nature, cousins, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. You can. So that's what the if you have not, you've asked not means. You're not talking to your divine guiders. Like, you need to think of everything as an individual from now on. You need to understand that this is an individual, literal life purpose for everyone. If you're over 18 and you are receiving help from anyone, even if you are a married person and you fucking think your fucking job is to do this and it's to do this, you're working for the 3D, bro. And you might need to wake up a little bit. Because what I noticed is I was doing circles 24/7 in these relationships. I would fucking get clean. I would fucking be a great stay-at-home fucking mom. I never was a stay-at-home. I didn't take paternity leave. I always worked my ass off, put the kids through sports. To be honest, I'm a fucking do-it-all mom. I've done so fucking great. I fucking literally bought fucking this house, fucking been paying for it for 8 years. Fucking, dude, I do hella shit. And fucking, I'm proud of what I do. And I'm very proud of what I do. One thing, people might think I'm working on whatever the fuck they're telling me to work. I know I am not working on what you're telling me. I'm doing me, and I'm working on improving my quality. Because you need to take a test. You guys need to take a test to see what is your love language. Mine has always been acts of service. It did switch over to words of affirmation this year. But my love language has always been gift. I'll just buy you a present. Like, I'm not into your crying shit. I fucking am into work ethic. I'm into solutions. I'm not the one to sit down and talk. I don't want to go to your baby showers, and with respect, I just don't. I'll send you a present, but I think like a dude. I want to work. I would way rather be weed eating than ever. I'm not going anywhere with the chick shit. You guys are welcome to come fishing, sporting. I think like total fucking straight. I just like sports. I like nature, and I like to work hard. I don't blow my money on stupid shit. I literally invest it into my family, period. And I would, sure, we'll blow money later when we have it. Right now, we got to get our families taken care of. And that's just my mentality. And so, yes, I am working towards being better at providing quality time for a lover, but I'm also aware that right now, I am trying to build myself in an emotional and mental, spiritual, and financial way. So, get your nasty shit out of here. If you are struggling still with popularity issues or fitting in a society, I hope that we can remove that from your factors today, because God is in the 5D. And as long as you're focused on tangible shit on this earth and you're not considering it a blessing or a lesson, like literally both, at all times, like you're working for the 3D and you're kind of a puppet. And those of you who feel like you're different, you're already 5D, babe. That's what I'm saying. And so, yes, those people did treat you poorly, but we've done it too. And that's where it's cool to just be like, you know what, fuck, dude. It's all just, we all go through the same shit. And I'll tell you, I like to be accountable for shit because it's some real shit, dude. It's some real shit on both ends to go through it and to do it. And I know that to admit things that we've done that might not be judged so greatly by other people, it puts a lot of people in situations not to talk about themselves, what pain they're in. You're embarrassed. You're like, I never told anybody for years I went through CPS because I was ashamed of it. But I realized, every year I like to come up with a word for my year, and shame came up. Contentment came up. I learned anger's not a real emotion. Anger's a secondary emotion. Anger covers up shame, guilt, fear, rejection, abandonment, all that shit. And so the more I started to learn how to break things down, I was like, why are you angry? Why are you going to school to be a lawyer? Why are you? And so it's just like, everything's going to break things down. And I didn't tell my mom I switched career paths. I applied for the education and I got certified. I can do cosmetology or barbering or skincare or anything like that. And I did that particular course because I thought I was going to be the most beautiful person. I didn't plan on actually falling in love with that many people, but it changed my life. And then I went back and became a teacher, and I focus on the human body and the brain and breaking it down now. And so I was still able to do something with my dream, and I love it. And sure, I could have made a lot more money probably being a criminal defense attorney, but I look back on that path and I think I wouldn't have known anything that I know today. Today I would do things, now I'm a light worker and I feel like we are emperors and empresses, and that's the difference. When I learned the meaning of an emperor and an empress, it makes sense why we went through everything. It just says an emperor and an empress is going to have to go through every card of the deck. You have to go through every card of the deck because you're an empire ruler. The deck these are our people. And every card in the deck for your emperor and empress, that's the emperor and empress, they are above the king and queen. And you know what is the difference between those rulers? Emperor and empress have empathy. That's why it begins with the imp. They're empathetic. Versus the king and the queen are judgmental rulers. You'll be met with the sword, just like the Queen of Hearts. Off with their heads. Why is she saying that? Because she's mad she got left by her ex. So all these people are suffering because she lacked problem resolution skills. She suffered from abandonment issues. Why in Lord of the Rings is that king coming to take over? Greed. You can break things down. That's where you're looking for purity. There's only 144,000 people in the world that are light workers. That's the difference. So when you say you're an outcast, you're fucking beyond that. Do you know how many billions of people are in this world? You are very different. And your difference is very important. And when you can see that when somebody is cruel, as a scale on a 1, 2, 3 person is, because usually those are sober, narcissistic, fucking evil fucks, with as much respect as we can say, but they are cruel. And like I said, no dead body, no memory, no addiction, no breakup has ever fucking hurt me more than that motherfucker that sliced me down with their cold words. And that person was also angry because their life didn't go the way they wanted it to. They had abandonment issues. They weren't able to be successful in their previous relationships, and they took it out on me every day, in my opinion, and I am very hurt about that. Will I ever have an opportunity? No, that person never fucking has yet to this day. Bro, no, they're a blamer all the way. Every story, they suffer from pathological lying, I get it. I can allow myself even in this scene, and that's where I still need to improve myself. I'm learning slowly but surely that what they did was extremely inappropriate and abusive. I learned that I never learned how to properly communicate because I had to learn how to be. All I did was get yelled at and really work for this person because they thought that everybody, they were entitled. They suffered from entitlement. A lot of you guys are learning that now, unfortunately, in the people that you date. No, nobody owes nobody nothing. God has literally blessed you with the skills that you already need to be successful. And if anybody in your life is disrespecting you, you need to learn how to actually put a halt to that. You need to know that this is that moment where God's like, okay, this is the test. Everything leading up to that moment is the fucking study guide. So I want you to stop looking at the moment like, oh, everything fucked up keeps happening to me. I want you to start looking at it like, how many times has this particular thing happened to me, which is what I called circles. That was repetitive behavior. That's us sitting there fucking giving ourselves a pat on the back and being like, woohoo, I got clean. Getting into another relationship and actually saying, everyone keeps fucking me over, or I do good and then I just fuck up. Okay, so what the fuck could we have possibly done wrong there? I'll tell you. We didn't do anything different. You can even spend 1 year sober. You can spend 10 years sober. You can spend literally fucking all this time single too. But how many different things or different people did you see or do in between that time? That's one thing. Because you cannot change who you are in the same environment with the same people. People think that if they, shut up Hazel, people think if they spend 6 months single, that's going to bring them a new girlfriend or boyfriend. No. God says in order to have a new life, you have to get rid of your old life. And you can look at it like you're moving into a house. Other people's shit do you want in here that you're going to have to clean up and move before you can set your fucking couch? Because life in the physical is cluttered in your emotional. You need, like, and also, like, if you think of it like an inner tube, if you're on a floaty and you think of life, God's like, okay, you're going to your new life. You can't bring nothing. That's what the Fool card is. It's a leap of faith. You cannot bring nothing but a couple things for yourself to use to survive. And it's not a person. You're leaving all these people behind. That's this moment for you, okay? And God say that. Jump aboard, you know. I mean, you're like, well, I want to bring Martha. She's my girlfriend. I love her. I'm not going nowhere with Martha or whatever. He's like, she can't come. Just you. Get on your inner tube, Joe. You know, and your inner tube's right there. We'll just pretend that everybody has their own inner tube because I go down with your ass. So on your inner tube, God said, come on, Joe. You're like, how about Martha? So God's like, God's not here to tell you you cannot do it. That's the thing. People do have free will. That's where you can no longer blame God for these choices. So God, I mean, God's the homie that's like rowing away. I mean, if I could picture God as the black man, he'd be like, just shaking his head at your ass. You know what I mean? He'd be like, you stupid motherfucker, dude. So here's God rowing. You're like, bring him, Martha. He's like, stupid motherfucker. You know? So picture you. Even if it's just one thing, you're like, fuck that shit, man. I quit my job. I gave up my house, Lord. He's like, I even left my Jordans, you know, whatever. Like, you gave up everything. Maybe it's even that you wanted to bring your Jordans and you don't even care about Martha. Maybe you wanted to bring your weed pen. I don't know what it is that you love, but there's one thing. And God say, you can't, bro. You're like, I'm bringing the one thing. I'm not going to quit smoking cigarettes, or I'm not going to not do my nails. I was trying to get that off anyway. Thank you, God. Anyways, literally, dude, God saying no. Everything. So if you bring even one thing, and it wouldn't matter even if you thought you needed your cell phone, you got to think of that one thing as one tiny hole in your fucking floaty. And even just one tiny hole is going to take you down. And until you're ready to actually take that leap of faith and be vulnerable and change who you are and be around people and actually set boundaries, that's why you have to remove. And that's the point of removing yourself, is setting boundaries, you guys. It is a test. Do you have self-respect? If I respect myself, others will not be disrespecting me. Does that mean that fucking literally we're not going to run into situations to challenge ourselves, like our level of how we will respect ourselves? No, that's the good thing. Those moments when people fucking think they're about to disrespect you, that's a moment to fucking show your boss ass energy. It's not a moment to fucking take over. It's not a moment to fucking be a bitch. But yeah, it's either you or them. You either fucking eat or be eaten. So it really is. But how can we teach the people to just balance it out and be like, hey, go find something better to do with your time. That's what this one guy's dad said all the time. That's a great way to say anything. Dude, the kids would be duking it out. He would just look up, hey, go find something better to do with your time. That's what I'm talking about. That's dope ass fucking takeover energy. Everyone knew that motherfucker was dead ass serious. And literally he said 5 words. And that's what we're working towards being. I love you guys. I'm gonna take a little off. But you guys are so amazing. And thank you guys for being here. I love you. Hi, King. I love you.